What's up YouTube? How are you doing today? Chana D, your Techno Dad here, and in today's video we're going to be checking out the Outlaw Audio Model 5000 5-channel amplifier. And we're going to get into it right after the jump. And I'm back. Now, if you're new to the channel and you want to learn about 4K, home theater, and audio products and how to set them up properly, you should consider subscribing because I'm here to help. And don't forget to hit that bell so you get notified when I do a live stream to answer your questions or when the next video gets released. Well, now that housekeeping's out of the way, let's get into it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today we're looking at the Outlaw Audio Model 5000. Now, it's a 5-channel amplifier that runs for $599. I want to take this moment to give a big shout out and thank you to the good folks at Outlaw for sending this unit in for review. So, thanks guys. Alright, so let's get into the stats of this amplifier. It's a 5-channel amplifier, and when you're running all 5 channels and you have an 8-ohm speaker load, like if you're running clipped speakers or something like that, you're going to be getting 120 watts per channel with all 5 channels driven. Now, what if you have speakers that are different and maybe they're running at 4 ohms? You're going to be getting 180 watts per channel with all 5 channels driven into a 4 ohm load. Now, there's something interesting about a 5-channel amplifier. You don't necessarily need to use all 5 channels. You know what I mean? You can use 3 channels and get more power output for those 3 channels than you would if you're, using all 5 channels. So if you wanted to do something like, say, power your front stage, your left, center, and your right speaker, then you'll get more than the 120 watts that's going to the 5 channels. Now, Outlaw doesn't have any posted figures about this, so I did give them a call, and they're really friendly. So give them a call, talk about your setup. They can definitely recommend you something that will suit your needs. I did get a 2-channel number rating, and for 2 channels on the Outlaw amplifier into 8 ohms, you'll be getting 170 watts per channel. And if you have 4 ohm speakers, you'll be getting 230 watts per channel, and that's with 2 channels driven. So if we take the 8 ohm number, 5 channels, 120 watts, and 2 channels, 170 watts, if you're gonna run 3 channels in 8 ohms, we're probably gonna be getting about 150 watts per channel into those 3 speakers. So, powering your front stage, this amplifier definitely do it. Well, enough talking. Why don't we go upstairs and see what's in the box? Yeah. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, first things first, this thing is heavy. I bet it's coming in around like 60, 65 pounds when it's in the box. So the easiest way for me to do this is to kind of open it and then just put it upside down, open the interior box and put that upside down and get the amplifier out of the box because it is pretty heavy and it's a pretty small package. It is double boxed, and that's really cool for shipping. We know this thing's not going to get damaged. We really only have 2 items in this box other than the amplifier. The first is a 3-prong IEC power cable, and the second is a trigger cable. Now, once I got this out of the box and on the table, I gotta tell you, this thing looks pretty sweet. Super sleek, simple design, nothing flashy. It's like literally just here to get the job done. Let's check out what's on the front panel. So there's only one item on the front panel. It's in the bottom left corner, and it is the power button. It does have a little blue ring around it for when it is powered on. Alright, let's flip around to the rear panel. Along the top we have 5 RCA inputs, and Outlaw has gone ahead and labeled these with what speakers you should plug where, and you can follow this guideline or not, it doesn't really matter. Along the bottom we have the 5 speaker outputs. In the top right, we have the trigger switch. We have the 12-volt trigger input. And in the bottom right, we have the IEC power port and fuse access. Alright, so that's pretty much what we get in the box. So why don't we go ahead and connect it to the Denon X4400H. So I put both the Denon X4400H and Outlaw Model 5000 on the dining table to show you guys how to properly connect them. First, let's start with the trigger cable. Plug one end of the trigger cable into one of Denon's trigger outputs. You'll notice these are the 2 little red rings. Then connect the cable to the Outlaw's trigger input. Now we have to flip the switch on the Outlaw to turn on or tell the amplifier that we're going to use a trigger as the power on for the unit. One more thing you're going to have to do is press the power button on the front of the Outlaw, which will keep it in standby mode and allow the trigger to operate properly. Alright, let's look at the pre-out section of the Denon. We're going to connect the left, center, right, surround left, and surround right to the Outlaw. On the back of the Denon, the white RCAs are left and the red RCAs are right. Except of course for the center and your subwoofers, but that's a different story. Like I said before, Outlaw has labeled the RCA inputs, but you don't necessarily have to follow them. We're going to go ahead and follow them though for this demonstration. I went ahead and bought 5 1-meter RCA cables from SVS. These RCAs are directional, so make sure you use the arrows to match the signal flow. They're going to go from the Denon and into the Outlaw. Now that we got that squared away, we connect the front right to the RCA input front right on the Outlaw. Front left to the left input. Surround right to the surround right input. Surround left to the surround left input. And center to the center input. So this is what it's going to look like when all the RCAs are connected. Now let's connect the speaker cable. When you're done, we're going to have a little mess of wires here, but it will look a little bit different once the Denon and the Outlaw are in their respective racks. And speaking of racks, let's check out what my TV stand looks like. So here you can see there really isn't that much room for an amplifier. On the bottom shelf I have the Denon X4400H, Xbox One X, Oppo UDP203, LG UBK90, and a DirecTV box. On the top shelf I have a cable modem, a Nyko charging block for gaming controllers, a Klipsch RP450C, an Apple TV 4K, and a Mac Mini as my Plex server. So clearly I don't have any room. So what am I going to do? What I did was I moved the TV stand out forward just a little bit, and I used a modular VTI stand behind the TV. Now all of the equipment is facing the wall so I can connect everything properly. On the bottom shelf I have a power conditioner, the Furman Elite 15 PFI. Next we have the Outlaw Model 5000. Above that we have the Halo integrated amplifier, and at the very top is my turntable. It's a Technics SL1200. Alright, so now we've got the 5 speakers connected, and this is what it looks like behind the TV. Alright, so we got it out of the box and everything's connected. Now I'm sure you guys are asking yourself, well, Techno Dad, how does it sound? Does it make any improvement? Do you notice a difference? So here we go. These are my first impressions of the Outlaw Model 5000. As you might have known from a previous video, I did just get the new 4K release of Saving Private Ryan, which has an Atmos soundtrack. So what I did was I watched the scene with just the Denon, the first scene when they're storming the beach. I started kind of where the waves are kind of crashing in, and go to about where the mortar blast takes out Tom Hanks's hearing, and it's kind of just the sound's all muffled, and there's that guy walking around looking for his arm on the ground. Yeah, so I stopped it there, and I just had the decibel meter app on my phone up and running, and it was kind of just getting data while I was watching that scene. Then I connected the Outlaw, and then I watched the scene again, and here are the results. Now as you can see, I've actually gone up 2 decibels. So what does this mean, you ask? Well, if you haven't seen my other video on how much power speakers need, I'll leave a link down in the description and a card up top. But basically in that video, I tell you guys to get a 3 decibel upgrade. So to go up 3 decibels, we need to double the power. So if you're, let's say, getting 98 decibels at 10 watts, to get up to 101, we need to get to 20 watts of power. That's the power output coming from your AV receiver or amp. So what can we conclude from this little unscientific test that I just took here? It seems to me that with the Outlaw 5000 powering the 5, ear level speakers, I'm getting about 65% more volume in my room, right? Because we're gone up 2 decibels, okay? If we went up 3 decibels, we're doubling the power. So that's actually pretty great. For the price $599, you know, that's a good amount of power. Now, like I said previously, if you're gonna run the 5-channel amp in 3-channel mode, you might be getting a little bit more volume out of it as well, since it's going to be putting out more power. All right, guys, so you know the drill. I'm gonna keep this amplifier for about a month and run it in different configurations and setups with the Denon X4400H. I'll run it 2-channel, 3-channel, 4-channel, of course 5-channel, and see which setup is the best to go along with this AV receiver. Like, say, if you want all 11 channels, or if you want to run 10.1 Oro 3G and you want that Voice of God channel, I'll figure a few different setups out with this amplifier and the Denon to see and help you guys, you know, figure out which is the best setup to run. Now, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below, or hit me up on email or whichever social media you like to use the most. Now, once again, I do want to give a big shout out and thank you to the guys at Outlaw Audio for loaning me this amplifier to review. Don't forget, guys, if you're in the market for an amplifier to add on to your AV receiver, check out the Model 5000, link is down in the description. All right, well, that's pretty much it for this video. If you liked it, go ahead, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel using the button in the middle of your screen. Once again, my name is Chana D. I'm your Techno Dad, and I'll see you next time.